Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another edition of 343 Podcast. I'm your host, Jason. Trust everybody's well. Were you viewing this? Were you seeing this? Were you listening to it? I'm joined by the regulars in my starting 11. I've got AF and I've got Riyaz. Lads, how's it going?
All good, man. All good. I could have been better, but yeah, all good my side.
Nah, it's chilling. Riyaz, how's it been for you,
Yeah,
brother?
not too bad, not too bad. Having a good week so far. And yourself?
Nah, all good, man. All good. Guys, we're gonna welcome our friend, our guest, or not even gonna say guest, rather friend, eh? We're gonna welcome Good Vibes John Shin. Thanks for availing yourself. Welcome back to the channel, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Just a little FYI. So John has been on our show a few times. I think the most recent one was about 5 months ago. In that time, he has reached 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Obviously, he's a massive hit on TikTok, Instagram. So yeah, just from everybody at Sporticast 343, we just want to congratulate you. Really setting the trend for all of us to try and follow. Yeah, just do you just want to talk us through what that's been like? I mean, what that morning felt, or evening, or afternoon when you found out that you'd reached that 10,000?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I've been doing YouTube for, if I'm doing it exactly on the clock, it's been 11 years actually, because I first started in 2013. But
Yeah.
I've been in different channels. I've not operated my own channel. So from my own personal ambition perspective, I guess it's only been, I don't know, 5 years, 2 years, or like whatever that day I sat there and said, you know what, I'm getting too damn old for this. I gotta take the damn thing seriously. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. All right, if I reach 10K, how will I feel? And in terms of my personal ambitions and where I've been going, honestly, everything has just felt like a complete blessing. So I was like, 10K, it's obviously going to be incredible, but I'm not going to sit there thinking like, I'm going to reach 100K, whatever. It's a good vibes moment. That's it. But as soon as I hit that 10K on that show, I was done. I was like, we worked so hard for this, man. Yeah. It felt great because, I've been working so hard on this, and I never personally thought that my own channel in particular would reach that number. So.
Yeah, that is so amazing. I mean, obviously we're not in for all of the personal things, but that has to be something that was probably so amazing. I mean, also we were chatting a bit before, and AF asked me just to check in with you. That little delivery that you got from Adi, I think it was probably about last month. What was that like? Because
What a guy.
that kit is ridiculous. And I mean, reading through that post, you obviously woke up, you saw that your door. We're not doing it for all of the personal things, right? For all of the material things, but that one must have felt really sweet.
Yeah, so Adidas and Manchester United have been sending me things probably since last year, but this was the first time where they sent me something without telling me. So the last few times they've been telling me, they're like, "Hey, this is coming your way. Keep an eye for it." I was like, "All right, great." This time I just showed up at my door, and it just happened to be there. And they not only did they send me one, but they sent me two because we've agreed to give away one to one of my followers or people who are interested. And of course, Adidas has been rising through the ranks, and with the inclusion of football and the increase in popularity of football. Adidas has been following that route, and for me, I can only feel so grateful, and I'm always will be eternally grateful for my folks at Adidas, because for them to show me love like that, I mean, I'm just some dude here in America. I come back from work, I'm tired as hell, and I'm almost tripping on this box. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it says Adidas on the box. I mean, like, for them to give me that opportunity, for them to trust me, like, I've been actually just all my stuff is 3 stripes right now. You know what I'm saying? It's all Adidas, baby. You know what I mean?
That's the way.
Probably walking up the steps there thinking like a little Brad Pitt moment, like, what's in the box? What's in the box? And then it happens, and that is crazy. I think I have to maybe get in touch with your Adi guy. Let's see if he shipped all the way to South Africa. Yeah, guys, it's been an absolutely crazy weekend in terms of results, and I think in the last few weeks we've had a few good weekends in terms of Premier League football. Riyaz, our teams are doing okay. Unfortunately, we're not going to be the highlight of this segment. We're not going to be a highlight of the show. We're going to jump into a little Manchester derby that happened over the weekend. initial thoughts, obviously going into the game, we thought that City would win, and then we have that massive goal from Rashford. AF, talk us through what your thoughts were when that goal went in, and just as the game progressed, what the feelings were.
Yeah, so I couldn't believe that he scored that. It was an absolute screamer of note, and it just happened out of the blue. I mean, we all know how United played, or how their mentality was going into that game. But yeah, I mean, I celebrated that goal like it was a winning goal. It was
Stop
insane.
the
Like
clock.
I couldn't.
At that
Yeah,
time,
just like
the
we're
game could
done,
have been
guys.
done.
Let's get back into the
Yeah.
bus. Let's go home. Let's call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the goal was amazing, and I didn't agree with anything that happened after that. It just felt like tactically, the entire team was just like, okay, let's just park the bus and let's try to defend that amazing goal, and let's try to salvage something from this game. And I'm sorry, my dudes, but it's Manchester City. You can't do that. 100%. You can't score in the first 20 minutes of a game and think that you're going to park the bus against probably the best team in the world. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what John has to say about rather that first half. Let's get into the first half first.
Yeah, let's just break it down. John, what are your thoughts on that first half, man?
I love the first half, and I was saying it for the most parts, that like they were playing well in that first half, and people were like, "John, you waste, man. How can you say they're playing well when they're sitting back and it's blah blah blah?" It's Manchester City. Tactically sitting back doesn't mean that they're playing badly. Just because the opposition has possession and they're getting chances, and that doesn't necessarily always have to mean that from a footballing perspective we're playing poorly. I thought Manchester United, at least from a rhythmical perspective, at least from the perspective of fight, we looked good. We looked cohesive. We looked like we were finally structurally organized for the first time in God knows how long, because against Fulham, against Nottingham Forest, in the past few matches, we looked disjointed as hell. The players played as if they didn't even know each other on a first-name basis. It was so bad. It was shocking. And then to go against a world-class team like Man City and to do that, I was happy. I was content with what I was seeing. But I literally said this on my live stream. I said, we can't keep this up. If we're just going to keep getting pegged back, I guarantee no matter how much we're looking good and everybody's cheering each other on and we're running for like there's no tomorrow, that's going to burn out. And in that second half, Man City are going to smell blood. And that's exactly what happened. You can't maintain that sort of energy and that resilience throughout an entire 90 minutes against Manchester City. And I hate that, just like, but that's what it is. And at the end of the day, we saw Johnny Evans getting pulled out, whether it be for injury or for exhaustion. I think Eric Ten Hag said it was an injury precaution, things like that.
He was playing with an injury.
Yeah, but that's my point precisely, is that you have to pull him off, right? And that's Johnny Evans. He's probably arguably one of our better center backs. If not, some people might have an argument that he might be the best center back for Manchester United right now. And that's a damning verdict on the state of United's affairs. I mean, Johnny Evans, like, that man was around when I was still, my skin was way better than times. You know what I'm saying? I was like 100 pounds lighter. I was flying. Them times when Johnny was around, and he's back. And I've actually been pretty critical of Johnny Evans, especially around this time at Man United. But he's aged like fine wine, and he's joined back at Manchester United at the age that he's at to do what he's doing. That's already an overachievement in many respects. And for Eric Ten Hag to have to rely on somebody like Johnny Evans, who comes off, and the person coming on is Willy Kimbwala, young man, one of the few games he's played for Manchester United in the senior team against Man City. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Victor Lindelof was playing at left back, swinging over to center back. Diogo Dalot going over to left back. He's been playing well at right back. Now he has to go left. He was building momentum and sort of consistency. Got to shift him to left back because our left backs are all down and about. And then Willie has to play right. Like, it's so difficult to watch all of this play out because it's inevitable. It's like a writing on the wall, the way that second half shaped on. And it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, this is not going to turn out well. And it didn't. And that's exactly what happened. Phil Foden was smelling blood. He was all over Victor Lindelof. And then when Lindelof got switched to center back and Diogo was sort of matching Phil Foden for pace, Pep Guardiola smelled blood and tactically made the right choice. He shifted Phil Foden to the other side to go against Willy Kimbwala. Willy Kimbwala doesn't have the experience, lacks the positioning and the awareness, off the ball movement, not sure what to do. Phil Foden was behind him every other second. It's like Man United just there was only so much we could do, and I felt bad for Erik ten Hag, and I felt bad for that side.
Yeah, and I mean our squad is basically in the ICU. If you, I think they did out the stat on Sunday it was the 27th different centre back or back four pairing that United have played this season.
That is insane.
Which I mean that's a testament to how badly we have been suffering in terms of injuries. And Willie Kambwala coming on as well. If I'm not mistaken, he's a centre back by trade as well. So he's coming on in this huge game, and he's being tasked with not only playing fullback but going up against Phil Foden, who is arguably one of the best players in the world right now. So I mean, like we definitely getting the short end of the straw. And I know everybody's saying, "Oh, you're just making up excuses for United at the moment," but our squad has been hit extremely hard by injuries this season. And I know so many different teams, they're suffering because of injuries. But I don't know, man. Like, there's no way that a manager can try to implement his own strategy with playing fifth and sixth choice players in their positions.
Yeah, no, for sure. That I think it was making the best of what was almost provided for them. I think back to those two Rashford chances after you guys had taken the lead, and I almost thought to myself, like, if anything happens from either of those chances, maybe it starts to perk City's ears up a little bit more, you know. But I have to agree with John. I think it was probably some of the best football I've seen you play in that first half, in terms of playing, being efficient, and being effective with that ball. Because I think normally when you play at home, you have lots of possession, but there's really nothing going forward. But here you actually carved out like 3 very good chances where, okay, Rashford, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, maybe it's a lack of form, but that little bit where you needed him just to zone in and hone into that chance, he almost missed it, or not almost missed it, did miss it. Yeah, it was just like, and then City, it took Foden scoring an absolutely amazing goal, but then City just click into this rhythm, and then once they're in that rhythm, it's very, very hard to stop them. Riyaz, just from your perspective as an outsider, you know, we are looking into a Man United supporters club here, a little support group. As a Spurs fan, what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, firstly, I want to take you back to minute number 1 when you said our teams are doing okay. And your team is third, and they've scored like 6+ goals for the past couple of weeks. So don't give me that okay nonsense, okay? You guys are chasing the title, so don't give me that. Secondly, yeah, United, I agree with all the sentiments being said. I mean, the first half that they played was amazing. John put it so well. For the past couple of weeks, months even, they've been so disjointed and playing shocking football, getting wins nonetheless, but playing very bad football. Should have lost most of the games. And they came out against City and they played really well. They played cohesively. They played the way they should have. They didn't really try to pass out from the back. The goal came from going long and being able to change up the tactic, which worked out well. They scored and they went up. But then, like everybody said, I mean, sitting back for 80-odd minutes against a City team is not the way to go. I think even though the team was cohesive with that 4 in the middle, playing 4 center mids, I guess, 2 CDMs and 2 out center mids, kind of works for you in the defensive-mindedly. But when you have the ball and you need an outlet, someone to hold the ball, kind of someone to hold up the ball, it's kind of really important to have someone that can do that. And that's where they kind of, I think, dropped off a little bit, because they gave the ball straight back to City and the City came and attacked again. So they just needed some calm heads to prevail. I guess they tried to do that with the third goal and it kind of went south for them. But yeah, I think they played really well. Defensively, they were really good in the first half. And yeah, injuries this, injuries that. We all have injuries. Get over it. No offense, but that's how it is. We've all had injuries this season. Go take them out to the hospital when they're ready to come out. It affects all of us, so it's all good. Like, don't get your panties in a knot for that. But at the end of the day, you guys played well in the first half. But like I said, and like John said, there's no team can defend against Manchester City for 80 minutes. I mean, it's impossible, especially when you don't have a break The legs were going to come. Came from all the goals came from mistakes as well. The first goal was Rashford was left up the pitch. There was a gap and nobody covered him. The second goal, Casemiro didn't follow the runner, and the third goal was obviously unfortunate. They tried to play out from the back end. They got the ball stolen from them. Yeah, so it was unfortunate. To be honest, I still thought they played really well. It was one of the better games this season. So there's definitely positives in it, which is more than I can say from the previous games that they've played, because I think against Nottingham Forest, they should have lost. Fulham, they deservedly lost. The 3 games before that, they should have drawn or lost as well, because they've been playing crap the whole season. I mean, before this game, honestly, I would have said that Chelsea United, same WhatsApp group, because even though United have gotten results, I think that they've been playing as bad as Chelsea have. They just have that kind of second season buffer where they can get over the line, which is important, because at the end of the day, they are still in the top 4 race and Chelsea isn't. So that's kind of important, but the way that they're playing has been shocking. So it's good to see that they came out, they knew they had a game plan. It's just unfortunate that they couldn't do it for 90 minutes.
Yo, Riyaz, tell us how you really feel, man.
The guy speaking about injuries, or saying what he did about injuries, is the same guy that said he's going to stop watching Spurs until Mickey van de Ven comes back from injury.
We have clips, we have proof of that.
But I didn't use it as an excuse why we were losing.
Well, we'll just run it back.
Run it back.
Guys, let's just look a little bit going forward. John, so you've got some results that have gone your way, but the football hasn't been good. Then you have a good game and the result doesn't go your way, obviously with a little asterisk because you are playing the former champs. What positives do you take out of the game going forward into the next, I think it's probably 11 games? What are your positives and what are your hopes for this next few games?
If I'm being completely honest, it's been one of the most toughest seasons for me as a Man United supporter, just trying to make content and try to stay positive, because the outlook is very bleak, if I'm being completely honest. And it's tough. Riyaz was talking about injuries before. Of course, that can play into how a season plays out, but at the end of the day, it's a results business, and there are managers out there who are capable of getting results with injured teams. So it's not. I'm not sitting here saying Erik ten Hag is devoid of all this, didn't blame, blah blah blah. Don't you dare blame him. That's definitely not the case at all. I think if anything, it's been a collection of problems for Manchester United that's sort of gotten us to this point. I think injuries just kind of put an icing on the cake in terms of the inevitable that was happening. With respect to the upcoming remainder of the games, I personally don't think Manchester United can make it to the Champions League. And if I'm being completely honest, in terms of the qualification spots, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't think we deserve to be in that position. If we can't compete with the football that we're playing now, what makes you think we deserve that? I'd love to, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have that happen. Don't get me wrong, getting the extra Champions League Ps, what I'm saying, next season, the allure of playing in the Champions League, of course, that's always a massive benefit. And I want that still, no matter what. If you're telling me right now, John, would you take the 4th spot? I will do it in a heartbeat, right? But it's going to be very, very tough. So many people were saying, Aston Villa are going to fall off. Spurs are going to fall off. I don't think that falling off is going to happen anytime soon. And if they do fall off, it's going to have to be an utter capitulation for Man United to even scrape up that ladder. And it's going to be tough. For me personally, I would rather not even fall into that Conference League spot. Maybe Europa League has a bit more of an attraction, but I don't even want Conference League. I'd rather just not have Champions League football, as crazy as that might sound. I'd rather not have European football and just focus on rebuilding the squad week by week, identify, what's our style of play? What do we want to imprint? The silver lining in that could be that having 1 or 2 games, having those European games out of the picture helps you. You're not burning out your players throughout the entire season as fast as other teams, and just got to look forward, because it's going to be a very, very tough ending to the season. I think it's going to take us a miracle and a half to try and make it into those top 4 spots.
Yeah, for sure. AF, do you echo any of what John has said? I think it's a very sound perspective. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, he's hit the nail on its head over there. And the one thing that I might not fully agree with is that Aston Villa not falling off. This might come out to bite me at the end of the season, but I think Aston Villa has all of the top 6 still to play in the next 11 games, in the final 11 games. So that's City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. Those are huge games, and I mean both teams will want to win those. Like we know that there's a huge title race going on, so all of those teams is going to want to come out on top over there. And I think in the City and Liverpool and Arsenal case, I don't see Aston Villa coming home with 3 points. So I think United should still have the mentality to try and win every single game they have left this season, because anything can happen. And whether we deserve to end up fourth, whether we don't deserve to end up fourth, if the team can give 110% every single game, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. Riyaz, anything you want to add just to that Man United storyline?
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. But it's sound thinking like when I said it a couple of years ago, we can run back those tapes about Spurs. When I said that, you know what, I don't want Champions League, please, this season. Give me fifth, give me sixth, give me seventh. You guys laughed at me because we had to rebuild. And now all of a sudden United want to do the same thing. So, I mean, I fully agree with that statement. It's much better to kind of not have those games in the week, especially when you don't have a way of playing. When kind of you in a rebuild kind of a stage, I think that those time entertaining pitch and those kind of weeks without minutes in the legs to tire them out. I mean, look what happened to Newcastle this season with all the minutes they had to play. They thinned out and they fell off so far. So without those minutes, it's actually an advantage, especially when you kind of know that you're not going to be able to compete in those tournaments. So if you're going to go into the tournament and you know you're going to, Newcastle did pretty well. I mean, for what they had. But if you know you're not going to go far in the tournament, what's the point? Rather take that time to train, to rebuild, and then come out better the following year. Finish second, finish third, and then go into the following Champions League season with all the momentum that you have, with a style of play, with better players, with players that aren't injured maybe. So I think that's a great mentality to have. But I also agree with AF fully. Like they're not out of this yet. Like even we Spurs have to play. In the last 6 games, I think we play 3 of the top 4, which is ridiculous. And then we play Aston Villa this weekend. So it's going to be hectic towards the end of the season. I think we will definitely fall off. We're not going to get fourth. I think Aston Villa has a good chance. And I think United actually, it burns me to say it, but I think United have a better chance than we do just because of the fixtures and their way of scraping wins somehow. So it's going to be, like I've said, as long as they put in 100%, they have a kind of a way to make it in. And you never know what happens with other games. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. But as long as, like I said, as long as they put in 100%, that's all we can ask of any of our teams, really.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. I think besides the massive title race that currently everybody is so glued to, that spots for Champions League can heat up, should heat up. And I think it's also going to heat up because of the fact that 5th could even get you Champions League football.
Yeah.
So if you're not pushing for 4th, the gap between Spurs and United at this moment is 6 points. Spurs and Villa is 5, and then Villa and United 11. So it's literally 2 or 3 good wins, and you are right on the way there to that 4th or 5th spot. And should you have that extra Champions League spot, there we go. Moving on now to a little bit of a preview for what's coming this weekend. We've got Liverpool against Man City. We've got, from an Arsenal perspective, I'm needing something good, and something good, I mean a draw of some sort.
Yeah.
John, you obviously watch quite a bit of football, and hopefully it's not only United, because that seems very sad if you only watch United. Seems like a very tough time. What are your thoughts for this game? I think I was watching something from Opta Sport, and some of the Spanish media are dubbing this the new Clásico. Would you go as far as saying that, or is it just a really good game that could possibly decide the title?
Are you sorry, say that again? What, the new Clásico?
Yeah, so Opta Sport, I think they had some Spanish journalists there, and some of the Spanish media are now dubbing it the new Clásico.
I need to hear the teams again. Say the teams again, and then say the Clásico. Just I need the full sentence again.
Liverpool versus Man City in the Clásico. Yeah, I don't think that rolls off at all. I don't want to make you sick or anything like that, but this is me just repeating what people are saying. It is a massive game. I don't think it's a Clásico level, but What are your thoughts on this game? What are you
No, it's a,
expecting from the two teams?
it's a mess. I mean, jokes aside, of course. I mean, you know, you could say it probably has been the Classico. It might have maybe dwindled over the years, but those are two of the strongest teams in the world. If you're looking at it from a perspective of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, who have been just giants of what they've been creating. So that game is going to be. I know Arsenal fans are going to be keeping a very close eye on that one, and I think for Liverpool fans, it's going to probably mean a little bit more, considering that it's going to be Jurgen Klopp's farewell, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on how this all shapes up, because of course the football is going to be very high level and all that, but I'm actually looking forward to the long-term picture, because I was talking to a friend about this. I don't think Erling Haaland is going to stay for an extended period of time, and this might be a hot take, but I don't think he's going to stay that long, and I think depending on how this season pans out, can also it's a sort of a domino effect. Depending on how this season pans out, can really shape how Pep Guardiola looks at his future, and the way how Pep Guardiola looks at his future can also shape how Erling Haaland looks at his future. And I think it's going to all kind of play into each other's hands. And I'm excited to see which team is going to capitulate more. But all jokes aside, a football perspective, I think it's going to be very intense. You saw Liverpool against Chelsea, how in that Carabao Cup he just brought on a bunch of kids, and he still was able to, you know, fight his way through. And it speaks to levels of how incredibly disciplined and structured that entire squad is. And whereas Man City, they're still sort of firing on all cylinders. I think from an injury perspective, Man City are relatively healthy in comparison to, you know, somebody like Liverpool and Man United, of course. But if Jurgen Klopp can get this result, I low-key see them as favorites. I'm not going to lie to you. If he can grind this result out against City, I low-key see them as favorites.
Yeah, that's actually what I didn't want from you, so thanks for nothing. AF, same question posed to you. Do you think it could be a title decider?
I don't think it's going to be a title decider, but it's going to be huge in the running. I mean, the fact that it's an Anfield, I'm already predicting now that the result will probably go Liverpool's way. But yeah, I think there's still about 10 games left after this weekend. So I think it's far from over. I still think this 3-horse race, there's going to be a couple of twists and turns along the way. And we know that Liverpool's squad, like Riyaz said what he did about injuries earlier, but I mean, against Manchester City, Liverpool would want their quality out front and center. And at the moment, they don't have that. There are a couple of people that came back from injury, but how fit are they? Whereas Manchester City, they're just a finished product. But like I said, at Anfield, that crowd can take any Liverpool team over the line. We saw what happened in previous weeks when they were playing the youngsters, and the Liverpool fans are just something else. And can I just cut that? I don't want anybody to hear me say that.
We are going to cut that. We're going to send it directly to Nikita.
But yeah, that's just my take on everything. I think Anfield's going to be a huge factor over the weekend.
Lads, I'm sorry. Before we go on, I'm going to have to step off here. Just want to say thank you for having me on. It's been honestly,
thank you very much for
keep doing your thing, guys. Keep cooking, okay? Because I keep an eye on y'all. And I always love coming on here.
Just before you leave, John, sorry. Where can everybody find you? Just plug the socials. Let's
everything.
To the 15K, to the 20K. Yeah.
You can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, at Good Vibes John. That's where I'm at.
Perfect. Lovely. Thank you once again,
Thanks,
John.
Thanks,
guys.
Appreciate you, man. Cheers.
Peace.
It's just this is obviously we will now just finish with this because it's a massive game, but it also speaks to the title race. What are your thoughts? Like, I'm feeling as an Arsenal fan, I'm needing something favorable, because if we're able to beat Brentford, we go to 64, we go 1 point ahead of them. Something favorable there then means it's sort of in our own hands. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about this game, firstly, and then also just the title race in general?
Yeah, I think the game is going to be interesting. It's going to be, I'm not sure about the new Classico, to be honest, but you know,
it's very wild when I heard it. I was
It's quite crazy to say, but I think it's the reason why they're brandishing that around is because of the coaches, because of the managers. I think it's two of the best managers in the world, and you can see that by the way Liverpool have been playing without their stars, with the youngsters coming on, even though they should have been beaten in the final of the Carabao Cup, even though they shouldn't have won this weekend against Nottingham Forest. It's just they just kind of find a way to win, like we're saying, that grit, that experience, just the drive from the manager has been amazing, and you can see it come out on the field, even with the youngsters in. So it's going to be a great game to watch. I think Liverpool will obviously offer a much better game than what we saw this weekend, just because of the way that they play and because it's at Anfield as well. Like I have said, Anfield is a 12th, 13th player. It's like ridiculous. And if you really want to know what people think about Anfield and the Liverpool fans there, then just rewind back 10 so minutes and just see what I have said. But other than that, I think that obviously City will come out guns blazing. For you, for the title race, I think for you specifically, Jason, you either need a draw or a City win, which is weird to say. That's but I think a draw is most favorable. For me, I don't like the look of Liverpool having the top spot like for much longer, so I would prefer just City to win it. I definitely don't want the Liverpool win. A draw would be obviously most favorable just for the overall title race. So I would also love a draw, but Anfield, difficult place to go away. It's difficult to say also because of the injuries. I don't know if Salah's back or if Darwin is going to play or what the Liverpool team is going to be looking like. So it's going to be a good game at the end of the day. Midfield.
I think they made like Szoboszlai and all these guys.
Yeah, I think Indo's also been playing a bit more consistently as well. So that, definitely.
Okay. No, so that's good. So, I'm not so good because it sends the team, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good game to watch. That's the most important thing for me. The game itself is going to be amazing, just because I think City, to be honest, City are becoming boring to watch for me. Not boring as in like they do amazing things and like they play tactically very well. But when they're up, then they don't really care about going forward. They just want to keep the ball. And against a team like Liverpool, it's going to be great to see because they don't want you to have the ball. They go after the ball. No matter what, 90th minute, 96th minute, 98th minute, they want the ball. So I think that kind of juxtaposition will be good there for the game. And they won't allow City to have the ball as much, hopefully, especially at Anfield. So I think the game itself is going to be great to watch.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think it's so many different factors that add in, right? And it's just like looking at Pep Guardiola now wanting to go, 4-peat. You have Jurgen Klopp in his final season at Anfield with a very depleted story, very depleted squad. It's like adding into the whole intrigue of this document that they're shooting. If they can do it with these kids through for the second half of the season where they were ravaged by absolute massacre of injuries. You add all of that together, you add the fact that Arsenal could possibly win Saturday, which means that before the start of the game, we could have somebody new that's sitting on top. So now it suddenly makes that game sort of like a catch-up game or almost a stamp your foot down sort of a situation. And then I don't think Man City's record at Anfield is good at all. I think in recent times, probably I can remember off the cuff now where Foden scored a few goals. And other than that, it's either been draws or like Liverpool wins. So you have that history as well that's also thrown into this mixed pot now. And it's just so many elements for what I feel could be a title decider, just because if either team if either team loses, it then means that there's now Arsenal that's now put, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then even if it's a draw, it's just that mental switch, because then we have this international break where either team or both teams have to sit with that result. And then you have the first game back after international break where Arsenal go to the Etihad. So if, for instance, there's a draw and then suddenly City don't pick up maximum points against us, then suddenly I think mentally it could be a bit of a knock. But then again, also talking about City, talking about Liverpool, these are teams that have been in this run-in for the last few seasons. So it shouldn't faze them. This is just me speaking from my deepest, darkest desires. This is what I'm hoping for. In the best case scenario, if I had 3 wishes, I'd wish for them to play this game thrice and for all 3 games to be a draw. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a Hamding-over game. I'm thinking even before that, I think it's Villa and Spurs, so it's really building up to be a great Super Sunday. And then, yeah, I think if Salah's back, it adds a bit of spice to it because City are not very good defensively. I think if Man United had Højlund there, if they had somebody who could possibly finish, it's a very different story. So yeah, I think it's got all the makings for a very good blockbuster game, and I'm hoping that it swings the title race in our favor. And I'm not sure how that result is going to pan out, but that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, AF, in closing, do we have a score prediction? And I also want you just to give me an anytime scorer. So anybody from either team that you think is going to score.
So I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
Even though that my mind says 2-1 Liverpool, my heart wants a 1-1, just so that you guys can get your win and then go top of the log.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Anfield's just going to prove the difference maker. And anytime scorer, I think Foden will get a goal, and I think Darwin Núñez is going to score the winner.
Okay. Or
granted he's fit. Granted he's fit.
Equalizer. Yeah.
Or equalizer.
1-1. Okay. So 2-1 to Liverpool, but your heart saying 1-1. You're saying Foden and Darwin Núñez. Okay. Riyaz, what you got for me, man?
I'm only going to go with heart here all the way through. I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going to go a nice high scoring draw, maybe like a 2-2 draw. With a Haaland anytime scorer, because I mean, he missed the sitter, but you know, Haaland is Haaland at the end of the day. I actually low-key hope that it's a Man City win and then Arsenal go to Etihad and win there. I think that's more of an interesting storyline for the title race. Like a City win at Anfield and then Arsenal win at Etihad, and then like a draw between Arsenal and Liverpool. I think that will be great. But I think a 2-2 draw here. I can't go with a City win no matter how much I want to. Ideally, I would actually have City win this game. But I think a 2-2 draw with Haaland scoring is going to be the way to go. Or 1-1, I guess. Draw nonetheless.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm also feeling that I think that the excitement of the game and Anfield will be rocking. I think City have enough in them to claw back. So if they do go down, they'll definitely get one back. So I'm going with a 2-2 draw as well. Anytime scorer, I'm actually going to go with I have this feeling that Rodri's going to turn up. It's very weird.
Good shot.
But if not Rodri and not anyone from Liverpool either, I'm going to go with Bernardo Silva also. I think Bernardo also has that knack for when things need to happen, he always seems to just pop up. And I think he's got a very good history against Liverpool as well. So, 2-2 with Rodri and Bernardo Silva. Not saying they're the two scorers, but I'm saying either of them will score. Yeah.
Is and that, by the way?
I don't think so. Not that I know. I think Cohen Keller is going to be standing, which is probably going to be another massive game for him. I think
he's been decently well though.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I mean, look, but I think a big part of their game is, I think, like United, who that back four is going to be, and whether they're going to be able to turn up. Because I think Nottingham Forest caused them quite a few problems. And I think also just for lack of a good finisher, maybe, possibly. I can't quite remember the whole game, but I think both teams defensively are not looking as solid as they previously. And also, I think I'm looking at it from an Arsenal perspective, where I think we are doing very well defensively. But yeah, I think backline's going to be important. And yeah, let's fingers crossed for that 2-2, guys. Anything that you do, you just think about 2-2, okay? That concludes episode 57 of 343. Shout out to you guys for always availing yourself, and also thanks to everybody that likes, subscribes, shares, comments. AF, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I'm at AF Parker 642 on all socials. I chat sports, I chat comic books, I chat movies. I'm just going to shamelessly plug my comic book show that I run with our other friend of the show, Damon. Yeah, we review comic books and stuff like that. So if you're into those things, give us a like, give us a follow as well, and yeah, hit me up on any of the socials.
Lovely stuff. Riyaz, for your one tweet a week, where can people find you?
I actually had to go on to Twitter now to check what my handle was, as usual. But you can follow me at Parker_Riyaz on Twitter and at RiyazParker7 on Instagram, and obviously follow the channel as well.
Perfect.
It's
perfect.
the one tweet is normally in response to a tweet that I put out.
Yeah.
And then you'll just like respond to me like,
Yeah.
okay, let's find that United supporter AF quickly. Let's see what he's saying about this match.
Yeah.
That's actually literally what I did this past weekend. It's literally what I did. I was like, wait, let's see what AF said, because I know he said something controversial. I'm gonna have to say something positive.
Nah, I think 100% we're actually gonna change that. It's not gonna be Riyaz, it's gonna be Reply Parker, because I think that should even be your handle. I
said I'm waiting for Riyaz to tweet more about WWE, but he's just not doing it.
No, I think he probably comes alive around pay-per-view time, isn't it? When is the next one?
In April.
Ages away.
April. Okay. Well, guys, follow the Squared Circle. That's just shamelessly plugging our other spin-off channel from Sportycast. I'm at Jason_Ronnie. I made a joke about Riyaz, but I don't tweet a lot. But you will know that I'm active when there's football. So yeah, I'm gonna try and be a bit more active. But yeah, once again, just thanks to all the peeps that have subscribed, who have liked, who have interacted with our content, be it on X, on Threads, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Yeah, we are just a couple of friends that talk about sport, and we absolutely love it, and we'd absolutely love if you guys interact with us. So yeah, thanks for availing yourself, guys. Let's have a good week, and let's hope for that 2-2 draw. Okay, catch you on the next one. Cheers.